Hello and welcome to AQA GCSE Biology, and today we're on episode 1, cells. So the first type of cell is the animal cell. Its main parts are around here. It contains ribosomes, which it uses for protein synthesis. The mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell, and they allow energy to be released by respiration. Another part of the animal cell is the cell membrane, which controls the entrance and exit of just about everything into and out of the cell. It's basically a thin skin around the cell. It's not the same as a cell wall. That's only in plants, and we'll get onto that later. Also the nucleus. It's the most important part of the cell, really. It controls what it does and contains all of the genetic material. It's inside the nucleus is genes, and genes are made up of chromosomes. Yes. Also, animal cells are different from bacterial cells. You might need to know this, as bacterial cells do not have a nucleus. They only have genetic material. In the animal cell, the cytoplasm is where all chemical reactions take place. It is a jelly-like substance around the nucleus and inside the cell membrane. The main difference between plant cells and animal cells is that plant cells contain a lot of extra things. For example, the vacuole, which contains cell sap and keeps the entire cell turgid, which is important for a plant cell. Chloroplasts contain chlorophyll, which allow the plant to photosynthesize. Its main method of gaining energy, well, only method of gaining energy, to be honest. And the plant cell has a cell wall, which strengthens the cell around the outside, which means it can be stronger and withstand a lot more things. Cells. There are certain types of cells known as specialized cells, and it's when they've got a difference which makes the cell suitable for its job. For example, the red blood cell has a large surface area, which means, and no nucleus, which means it has more space to contain the hemoglobin and oxyhemoglobin once it's picked it up. So, because its main idea is that it transports things, the more of that it can transport, the more efficient it is. This increases its efficiency. Also, other adaptations are that the sperm cell has a long tail for swimming, and the xylem has hollow tubes. So, what's next? The microscopes. Remember the microscopes because they see microscopic things. It's a good way to remember it. So there's a light microscope, which is in colour. It has up to 2,000 times. It is cheap, but it has a lower resolution, which does make sense. I mean, the cheaper things are, the worse they are, or at least that's how it's meant to work. The electron microscope goes up to 2 million times resolution. It's in black and white. It has a higher resolution, and it's a lot more expensive, which does sort of make sense. The magnification, if you might need this, it will probably give it to you, but it might not. Magnification equals the image size divided by the actual size. That's how and then you can find out any three of those by rearranging the triangle. Physics, blah blah blah. Yeah. And anyway, mitosis is growth and repair. Is used for growth and repair and asexual reproduction. It's a method of cell division, which exponential growth. The cell divides into two genetically identical copies. They're genetically identical because they contain the exact same genes, as the genes are not changed, as they are through meiosis. There are also these things called stem cells, which are not yet specialized cells, which means they can become whatever they need to. They are often used to cure diseases, and they're taken from the fetus or bone marrow. And now we're going on, moving right along here, we're on to diffusion. It's where a liquid or gas moves from a high to low concentration until they're equal. So a high concentration means that there is a lot of the liquid and gas there and a lot less water. A low concentration means there's not much of the liquid and gas. So when it switches over, it sort of equals it out. And that's the exact same way that osmosis works. It actually moves the water until it's equal. So it's a similar thing, except this involves the movement of water from a low concentration to a high concentration, and this is moving everything else to high and low. It has the exact same outcome. It's just the products which change. Also, active transport is sort of similar to diffusion, but it goes against the concentration gradient, which means it requires energy, because instead of going from high to low concentration, it's going from a low to high concentration, which is basically the opposite of diffusion. So there you go, everyone. That is cells. Very good. Goodbye.